Being one of the oldest movements in society, feminist objectives have evolved to address a variety of gender issues that appeared relevant in a particular period of history. As a result, each one of these concerns were put into the spotlight and was categorized as the four waves of feminism. Hi, I'm JP Rosa from BA Multimedia Studies, and in this video, I will be discussing the four waves of feminism and how each one of these have impacted the representation of women and gender in the media. This being said, we will dive into each one, starting with the first wave of feminism. Being referred to as the earliest feminist movement, the first wave formally began during the Seneca Falls Convention in July 1848, spearheaded by early feminist figures Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott. This movement aims to open up more opportunities for women, particularly focusing on the right to vote. After passing several resolutions for the call of the right of women, the first wave was able to achieve its main goal, allowing white women to vote with the ratification of the 19th Amendment in 1920. This said, several media content have reflected the values inflicted by the first wave, including Little Women, a film directed by Gillian Armstrong in 1944. As a book-to-film adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's 1868 novel of the same name, the film perfectly encapsulated the social realities and issues of the first wave. In the film, women are represented as domestically confined housekeepers who need the accompaniment of a wealthy man to survive and professionally succeed. However, its protagonist Jo March served as the film's symbolism of first-wave feminists, who sought to defy social norms by achieving her dreams of becoming an independent writer and philosophist, along with empowering solidarity among her sisters and her mother while navigating through a patriarchal society. Overall, the first wave feminism brought more attention to women's issues and struggles, acting as a catalyst for increased visibility of women in the media. While media representation of women in the first wave have increased, the stereotypical outlook of women and their role in society still prevailed. Hence, a question still remains. What does it mean to be a woman? As a result of the increased social consciousness brought about by the first wave, previous social-political events, and the 1963 publication of Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique, the second wave of feminism have emerged. Also known as the Women's Liberation Movement, this wave challenged the stereotypical ideas of femininity and womanhood which have limited women to roles of mothers and housewives. The movement advocated for increased involvement of women in professional workplaces and guaranteed equal compensation for all jobs, regardless of sex, which eventually came into realization with the ratification of the 1963 Equal Pay Act. This said, several media content have reflected the advocacies amplified by the second wave, including Norma Rae, a 1979 film directed by Martin Ritt. Inspired by the story of American labor activist Crystal Lee Sutton, the 1979 film brilliantly captured the social reality and challenges faced by women in the workplace during the second wave. The video addresses concerns such as poor working conditions, a lack of labor benefits, and ignorance of textile workers' health. With her unapologetic confidence, assertiveness, and eagerness to stand up for what is right, Norma Rae became the film's symbol of the second wave, defying gender stereotypes by the reverse portrayal of women as household leaders and men as house husbands. In general, the second wave feminism focused on challenging gender roles and sexism. Gender representation in media showed more fluidity, with women being portrayed as leaders, independent figures, and catalysts for change. Despite several victories achieved by the second wave, many issues and gaps still remained unaddressed, with its lack of focus on race, economic and social-cultural disparities, and individual expression. Hence, the question arises, how can feminism be more inclusive? Starting in the 1990s with Anita Hill's testimony and characterized by a more inclusive movement and the popular slogan Girl Power, post-feminism and the third wave are perhaps the most recognizable definitions of feminism for most people, still being relevant until today. The third wave has separated itself from the rigid political movements of the second wave. Instead, it has embraced themes of individualism, as well as the rise of lipstick or girly feminism, in which traditional traits of femininity are reintroduced into the pop culture as a means of women's empowerment. Most importantly, with Judith Butler's work on gender performativity and Kimberly Crenshaw's thesis on intersectionality, the third wave witnessed the overlap and relationship of discrimination in class, religion, race, gender, and other areas, broadening the scope of feminism in general. This said, with the rise of popular media and films during the 90s and early 2000s, several films have effectively exhibited themes from the third wave, including Miss Congeniality, a 2000 film directed by Donald Petrie. The film's protagonist, Gracie Hart, embodied ideals from the third wave, such as individualism, empowerment, and solidarity. From having preconceived notions that traditional femininity is superficial and silly, boyish Gracie quickly discovered that it has more depth and substance, even discovering her own essence of traditional femininity after being exposed to it in an FBI operation while undercovering as a pageant contestant. In general, the film was a journey through the complexities of gender identity and expression, emphasizing that presenting in traditionally feminine attire does not negate one's ability to be assertive, authoritative, and possess other masculine attributed traits. Overall, with the promotion of feminist themes in pop culture, the third wave of feminism has achieved significant progress in gender representation in media, reaching a wider and more inclusive audience all over the world. However, with the emergence of the internet and other new technological advancements in the succeeding years, how can feminism adapt to the landscape of the 21st century? With the incorporation of new technologies and social media in the ongoing third wave feminism, the fourth wave emerged. The #MeToo movement, fueled by social media activism, came to prominence on Twitter as a way of emphasizing the virality of sexual assault and harassment by encouraging victims to come forward and speak out about their experiences. Furthermore, the idea of intersectionality has extended to include contemporary issues that were formerly considered taboo. One of the films that best portrays the ideas of the fourth wave feminism is 2017 Greta Gerwig film, Lady Bird. As a coming-of-age film, the protagonist Christine Lady Bird McPherson explores the social realities of contemporary society before heading off to a new settlement for college. Furthermore, the film has also touched on the concept of intersectionality by presenting a diverse set of characters with whom Lady Bird interacts. The characters served as symbols and representations of contemporary issues relevant to the fourth wave of feminism, including body positivity, abortion, homosexuality, sex, freedom of choice, and mental health. In general, since the internet and computer networks enabled faster communication, gender representation in media have moved beyond mass media to include online and digital platforms such as campaigns, blogs, podcasts, short-form videos, and other mainstream content. Despite ongoing prominence of some gender issues, the combined efforts of each wave have undoubtedly pushed society for a better. This progress is visible not only through tangible advancements, but also in better representation of gender in media, embarking a paradigm shift in reshaping cultural norms and fostering our deeper understanding and acceptance of diverse gender identities.